magic sky. Is it real? Are they dreams? Nothing appears to be what it seems. Then far away I can hear a voice in the weatherhouse call out a name. Mr. Brolly, it's time for the rain.
Harry was trying to go to sleep, but no sooner had he closed his eyes than he opened them again. Tucked up beside Harry in bed were his toys, Elephant and Hippo. Snake, as always, lay on the rug by the door, and Bird was perched on the chest of drawers. Harry stared down at his patchwork quilt. It was different from other quilts. Instead of flowery scraps of material, it was made of little embroidered pictures of rainbows, stars and planets, clouds, and great flashes of lightning in a dark and stormy sky. It had been made a long, long time ago. On the wall hung Harry's weatherhouse. If the day was going to be fine and sunny, Mrs. Brolly came to her door. If the day was going to be wet and cloudy, Mr. Brolly came out. But of course, they never came out together, for it is impossible for a day to be both wet and dry at the same time. But what would happen if they both came out together? Wondered Harry, and he sat up and stared at the weatherhouse. As he stared, the doors seemed to grow larger. His bed grew smaller, and he found himself at the entrance of the weatherhouse. A light was shining from the door, through which Harry could see Mr. Brolly no longer fixed to his wooden stand, but moving freely about the room. How hot it was. Even in the weatherhouse, it was just the same. Mr. Brolly, couldn't you make the weather cooler? Asked Harry. My boy, look out of the window, said Mr. Brolly. Harry went to the window. Outside, where the garden had stood, was a rainforest. Strange flowers bloomed. Thick vines and creepers hung from trees, and from amongst the branches and leaves came the cries and calls of birds and animals unseen.
Isn't it wonderful? Mrs. Brolly made it for me. She makes me one every year for my birthday.
To be given a rainforest for your birthday was very exciting, thought Harry, and he wanted to go and explore it at once. Hippy, cried the little cloud. He wants to go too, said Harry.
Of course he may. The three of us will have a glorious time.
Please, sir. Me too, sir, said Wilkins.
I'm afraid that the jungle heat might be a bit too much for you, Wilkins. You're such a delicate little flower.
Oh, sir, it's not fair, sir, said Wilkins.
Oh, very well. You may come too. I expect that little cloud will rain on you from time to time to keep you cool, won't you? Eh?
Pip, cried the little cloud, and he rained as hard as he could on Mr. Brolly's left boot.
Thank you,
said Mr. Brolly. With his boot full of water, he set off along the path. Little Cloud floated behind. Harry followed, carrying Wilkins in his pot. Mrs. Brolly called, "Take care!" And then she was gone, and a great flowering plant stood in her place. Harry, Wilkins, and Little Cloud were in a clearing in the forest. Not a creature could be seen, but Harry felt that eyes watched him from every bush. The next moment, Mr. Brolly strode into view. Harry was very glad to see him. But Mr. Brolly paused not at all, but merely strode on, crying,
"Follow me!"
Squelch, 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 went his wet boot. Harry, Wilkins, and Little Cloud followed the sound. And then it seemed to come from above their heads in a most curious manner.
Squelch, squelch, squelch.
"Please, sir, it's a mockingbird," said Wilkins. "We did mockingbirds at school." Harry looked up and saw the mockingbird sitting on the branch of a tree. It was so like his own little bird that he cried, "Oh, it's you!" But the bird just mimicked his voice.
"It's you! It's you!"
it cried. "It's mocking you, sir," said Wilkins. "That's what mockingbirds do." This was all very interesting, thought Harry, but where was Mr. Brolly? "Mr. Brolly!" he shouted as loudly as he could.
"Mr. Brolly! Mr. Brolly! Mr. Brolly!"
cried the bird. Murmurs and scratching came from behind every bush. Harry held tight to Wilkins' pot. Then someone cried, "Ho, ho!" and Mr. Brolly came crashing through the undergrowth once more.
"Oh, my boy, sometimes one thinks one is going somewhere, but really one is just coming back again."
He soon cheered up, however, and with a cry of "Onward!" he began to stride from the clearing yet again. "Mr. Brolly, wait for us!" cried Harry. But Mr. Brolly just turned and smiled.
"Go your own way, dear boy. Find something that the world has never seen before. A new flower, a monkey with a different kind of tail. Oh, wonderful wilderness!"
And with that, he disappeared into the bushes.
"We'll meet at the meeting place,"
came his voice as he went. "Where is the meeting place?" Harry called after him. There was no answer to his question. Mr. Brolly had gone, and not even the squelch of his wet boot could be heard. He wanted to explore the wilderness without Mr. Brolly, but Little Cloud floated off at once. "Come back!" cried Harry. But Little Cloud just vanished into the branches and leaves of the forest. It was the first time he had been out on his own, and he stopped and had a small storm to celebrate the occasion. The next moment, he found himself caught in a large, sticky web. Below, in the grass, the spider was talking to his friend.
"Ooh, I've caught an ice cream," he said.
"An ice cream?" said his friend. "Oh, well, you don't get many of those in the rainforest. What does it taste like?"
"I don't know,"
said the spider. "I haven't tried it yet." Little Cloud was furious to think that anyone could mistake him for an ice cream, and he made the biggest thunderbolt he had ever made and threw it as hard as he could. "Bumpers, boo!" he shouted, which, roughly translated, means "thunders to you." The spider fell in a tangle of legs, and for a moment lay stunned in the grass. "By heck," said his friend. "What flavour was that?"
"Oh, I've no idea,"
said the spider weakly, and he made his way along a blade of grass, closely followed by his concerned friend. Left alone, the Little Cloud began to cry. His tears fell on a large leaf which grew beneath the web. "Do you mind?" said a timid voice from under the leaf. "It's a bit early for the rains."
"Blub, blub, blub,"
said Little Cloud. "Oh, don't cry," said the dweller beneath the leaf. "If I come out and keep you company, you won't throw a bumper at me, will you?"
"Bow,"
said Little Cloud. Harry was hot and tired, and Wilkins drooped in his pot.
"Please, sir, I want some water, sir."
"Could someone say where the water is?" said Harry, and the rustling and the murmuring ceased. But Harry knew that eyes watched, and ears listened, and noses sniffed the air.
Please.
For now Wilkins had folded his petals.
Oh, Wilkins,
said Harry. Then, as he gazed at the healthy, strong plants which grew all around, he knew what he must do to save. Harry had planted Wilkins in the rainforest. Now he stood and said goodbye to him.
It won't be the same without you.
He looked back at Wilkins. The little flower seemed very small and lonely.
I hope he finds a friend,
said Harry. A deep voice answered from above Harry's head.
The forest is full of friends.
Looking up, Harry saw a beautiful butterfly, which fluttered off into the forest.
Come with me,
it said. So Harry followed the butterfly, until suddenly Mr. Brolly appeared in a clearing.
My boy, he said. Ah, I see you've met the Admiral. He tells me that there's something new in the forest. Something that looks very like an ice cream and makes thunderbolts.
That isn't an ice cream, cried Harry. It's Little Cloud. He's been lost all day.
Mr. Brolly and Harry followed the Admiral to where Little Cloud lay fast asleep in the sticky web. Mr. Brolly pulled him free of the web.
Thank you,
said the Little Cloud.
And now we must find Wilkins and repot the dear fellow, said Mr. Brolly. Lead on, Admiral.
Wilkins was put safely back in his pot and refreshed with water from Mr. Brolly's boot. Mr. Brolly turned to Harry.
And now, my boy, we must hurry to the meeting place. My birthday is almost over. When it ends, the rainforest will vanish, and we will vanish with it.
So the party hurried on, with the Admiral fluttering overhead.
There's the meeting place, said Mr. Brolly,
and he pointed to the great flowering plant which stood at the end of the path. As they hurried towards it, the plant faded, and Mrs. Brolly stood in its place.
Dearest, cried Mr. Brolly, it was the best forest ever. I discovered a new spider.
And I discovered a butterfly,
said Harry. Little Cloud thought about the dweller under the leaf, but as he was too young to describe the creature to anyone, we shall never know what he looked like.
And now, Brolly, it's time for the rains.
Then Mr. Brolly lifted up his arms, and down came the rains. From inside the weatherhouse, Harry watched the rain running down the window pane. Gradually, the rainforest was vanishing.
Don't let it go,
cried Harry, and awoke suddenly in his bed. But the weatherhouse was nowhere to be seen. A small rainforest had grown all around it.
They're so magical.